see
All
who's
right.
watching.
We are on live. And we've got a few people that are on or comments. G'day, Graham. How we doing?
Good to see you, mate.
Josephine, howdy. Hello, hello. Thank you for tuning in, guys and girls. So this is the first time I've actually done a live stream with more than 2 people. So now I'm going to be trying to work out a couple of things. Yeah, so the chat's there. So welcome to the live stream, I guess. And I've joined with 2 wonderful guests. I've got DC and Troy. So thanks for hopping on, fellas.
Yeah, anytime.
And basically, I just thought of doing a live stream just to have a chat about a couple of things. But
sounds good.
Yeah. Let's start with a few introductions, actually. For those who, with the cross mingling from different platforms and whatnot, sort of get to know each other a little bit more.
Yes.
Let's start with DC. Can you quickly introduce yourself, man?
Okay, I'm DC. My handle is DC Learning to Live because I'm just trying to sort of learn how to live again and start again. And I've been fighting follicular lymphoma now for 12 years after they gave me 2 months to live. I've been stage 4 twice in 2 years and gone through 3 years of chemotherapies, basically trying to recover from the chemotherapy, the treatment itself. And I use a high-fat carnivore diet to do it as part of my regime as well. Anyway, I have many other things that I do, of course. Diet is just one of them. But, yeah, that's basically me. And, yeah, that's... I do a lot of interviews with or anyone who has a healing story. I like to get a lot of background stories and show people that you can do it too. It doesn't matter how far gone you feel like you are or how old you think you are or so on, but there's always a way to improve, and a lot of people do it very often. So that's basically what I'm doing.
Awesome stuff. Troy. Awesome. Troy, mate.
That's a fantastic story. Mine, similar but different. I had health problems. I just had a lifetime of eating a shitty diet and ended up being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Was suffering with diabetic neuropathy. So I was getting pins and needles in my hand, which is obviously a precursor to amputation. Diabetic retinopathy. I was essentially going blind. I was getting thicker and thicker glasses week after week. That's how badly my vision was deteriorating. My A1C, for those watching who knows what that is, a 3-month measure of your blood sugar, was 16.8, which 2 doctors have told me is the highest they've ever seen. Jumped on a carnivore diet really out of sort of desperation and was very fortunate to go looking for some advice on what I could do, the alternative to taking 15 different medications, and very fortunate to be introduced to Dr. Ken Berry, Sean Baker, Sean O'Mara, all these sorts of people. So from then on, so as you can see, I don't wear glasses anymore. No more neuropathy. My diabetes is reversed. I'm down about 40-something kilos. And it sort of inspired me when I was looking after my own health. It got me realizing how much just horrible health information there is out there. And so I've now, much like yourself, Joff, have trained up to be a health and nutrition coach, and have started a business here in the Hunter Valley, New South Wales, just trying to help just regular people. I'm a 52-year-old bloke, and as DC said, you're never too far gone. So that's my aim, is to help people who've sort of lost motivation or they just don't know which way to turn, and let them know that there's a way out, and there's a lot of healthy, happy years in front of you.
Awesome stuff, Troy.
Mm.
That's amazing, man. Thanks for sharing. I guess a little bit about myself too. I'm Joff. And I love how me and DC are trying to adjust our glasses, trying to get the glare out of the. For those who don't know, these are blue light blocking glasses that we wear after hours to block off any blue light that enters our eyes, and it's doing a good job for me right now. But I can't seem to fix the glare issue.
Well.
I'm sorry.
I need to get a pair.
You do. I'll send you a link, but I can't fix
appreciate
the glare issue. But anyway, so yeah, I'm a registered nurse. I'm also a health coach, as Troy mentioned, and I'm just here to spread the message. Really, trying to tell people that, hey, there's actually a different message that you need to know about health. And it's not about trying to lower your cholesterol. It's not about trying to eat a diet that is plant-based, but actually quite the opposite. And it's doing a lot of good for a lot of people worldwide. And, you know, these two guys in front of me here are living testament to that. But there are hundreds, if not thousands, if not millions already of people doing this. So I'm, you know, just sort of doing my part as well. And you know, in terms of why I got into it, it was all very much just, you know, health issues as well. For, you know, someone who was in their late 20s, moving up in life, I thought this was a dead end. I thought, you know, I'm everything after 30s is going to go downhill. But I came across this diet here, this carnivore diet, which pretty much, saved me. So I'm here to pay it forward. And now my mouse has just died on me. Oh, great. Technical issues we were having before as well. Now I've got to use the mouse pad on the thing, the laptop. All right, let's see some of the questions that we had here, or if any of the comments. I was going to ask if they help with sleep, but then I remember most guys normally fall asleep quickly. Not me, actually. No. DC, what are your experiences been with these blue light blockers?
They've made a big difference to my. I mean, I think like blocking blue light is something I do like as much as I can throughout the day. When I work on the computer, I do have 50% blockers as well because they block the computer screen blue light, but just 50%. But after dark, I use them, especially because like before sleep, it helps you to produce more melatonin, which is your sleep hormone. And your peak hours of producing melatonin are between 8 and 12 p.m. Okay, and 12 a.m. And that's the best window for sleep. But melatonin as a hormone is also one of the best fighting hormones against cancer and also just for metabolic health in general. So to me, it's very important to make sure that you get your sleep right. And for me, like before, like especially my younger years, I've always had trouble sleeping. I've gone days without sleep before, and it's just I haven't had so much a problem. I think it's part of my regime. It's not the only thing, of course. I think part of my morning routine is also very much the key to how well I sleep as well. So setting your body clock right, producing hormones at the right time of the day, okay, makes a very big difference to how you sleep. And I don't want to disrupt that by taking in a heap of blue light after dark. So these are really a very important part of it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I always say, you know, it's not so much the end all be all when it comes to, you know, the health hacks that you can do, but definitely the circadian rhythm, or I've heard it called before chronobiology. It plays an important part with your endocrine system. So
Yeah.
with melatonin, but also cortisol. So I think Aid put
That's
out
right.
a good comment here.
Well, it stops you. Yeah, it
Artificial.
stops you from producing more cortisol because I mean, when you're looking at blue light all the time, that's like your wake up hormone. When you start producing cortisol, you start producing more glucose, so that you're blowing up in your sugar, so that you wake up and you're more energetic. So that's something you don't want to do at night. But it's also recently they've been linking it, that the amount of work that people do on computer screens and of course the blue light at night as also part of what contributes to diabetes. And blood glucose, chronically elevated blood glucose is pretty much the underlying issue for most chronic disease, including cancer.
That's right. Circadian rhythm, it just disrupts your metabolism, the rhythm and the function of your metabolism. As you touched on, it spikes your blood glucose. So for people who are trying to lose weight, if they're getting cortisol at the wrong time of day, it's going to disrupt their fat loss, their metabolism. The whole thing just snowballs.
That's right. Yeah, it all just snowballs from there. So, like having a good morning routine, like I go out, get sunlight, do some deep breathing and stuff in the morning. That's really good. That helps set your body clock. And then, make sure you don't disrupt that body clock throughout the rest of the day, such as taking in blue light after dark. Taking in supplements at the wrong type of day can also disrupt your body clock as well, because it disrupts your body's timing for producing these different hormones. So it's there's a lot of little things that sort of can affect that.
Yeah, absolutely. Josephine asks, do you see everything in pink? I see it all in orange. So
yeah,
basically all the blue light is blocked out. Yeah, it's all orange. Yeah.
But you get used to that. Yeah.
You do. I've gotten used to it. And I used to trip over everything with these glasses on. It was just, it took a while for me to get used to it. And, having a 2-story house, I've tripped over the steps a few times, but now, I know to use the handrails now. Question for Troy. Have you got a YouTube channel?
No, I don't. I'm very tech unsavvy. I have got a let me find my phone. I've got a Facebook page, which feel free to jump on if you can see. Look at all that blue light. Function Health, it's called.
I'll type it in the chat.
Cool.
I'm sure you can see that. Yeah, that's where I do most of my interacting. I've just started a regular segment, which Jock was the first guest on. I just haven't edited it yet. A little segment we call Answer the Question Jerk. So we'll get people to give us some questions on the Facebook page and we'll answer them, similar to what we're doing now. So, by all means, if you want to get in touch with me and ask any advice or anything, jump on that Facebook page and, I'd love to chat.
Cool.
Awesome stuff. Yeah, if you're not following him on Facebook. I've got another screen here. It's my Instagram screen. I've got another question.
I'm very tech challenged myself.
Hey. Yeah, I could relate to, I guess. Yeah, I'm not that tech savvy either. How much are the blue light blocking glasses and where did you buy them? I got mine from I can't remember now, actually.
I got mine from.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I'll put the link up if you want. It's called Block Blue Light Australia.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Block Blue Light.
It's called blockbluelight.com.au. Okay. Now they have a range. You can get like just the orange plastic ones that for $55. But I think pay a little extra and get. They block about 50% though. If you get, I think it's worth paying a little bit extra. I paid $130 for mine. That's Australian dollars.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what that's in like US dollars, maybe $80-$90. Yeah, about
Yeah.
Ichiban yen, Japanese yen, thereabouts. So
It's
I'll
it's
put the
it's an
link
awesome
in.
investment though.
They're definitely an investment.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much these ones that the 50% ones I got for the computer. My wife brought home from Japan last time she went, so I'm not sure how much that was.
Mm-hmm.
I put
Yeah.
the link in the comments though, so if you just go to that link, there's quite a range you can get for different times of the day as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think the
Yeah, I've
most
got the yellow
important
ones.
ones, if you just get one pair, I think the most important ones are the nighttime ones to wear after dark, because that's when you want to produce more melatonin than anything. So I think those are the most important ones for anyone to help to get for their health anyway, to start with at least. So it certainly helps. But again, there are other things you can do, such as you can get like red light bulbs for because it's not just what you see. Okay, the red light you see, that you actually absorb blue light through your skin as well.
Your skin.
So you want to limit your exposure to blue light as much as possible. It's very difficult in this, like, to be in this sort of, I don't know, day and age, I guess. But you just have to limit it as much as you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. The on the flip side of that, you talked about going outside of a morning, which is a really great thing to do. We've got receptors in our skin for vitamin D, and also in our eyes, which is why it's not when you're trying to get that morning sun outside, it's not a good idea to wear sunglasses. You should just go out and absorb that morning sun. So it's sort of quite the opposite, that all these receptors work in a positive way when we're absorbing the light that we're supposed to.
Yeah, exactly. I don't wear sunglasses at all anymore when I'm outside, not for driving or anything else, because it's dark. You also start producing melatonin through the day as well, and that's not when you want it. You don't want to be sleepy all day. And yeah, I think it's a really good, like, my routine in the morning is to go outside in the morning when it's light. As soon as it's light, I do deep breathing. I do grounding. Grounding is a great thing for anyone to be doing. But in 15 minutes you can do 4 things. Do 4 life hacks. I can do a breathing session, grounding, and light absorption. So I'm getting my body clock set, and I'm getting my start producing more vitamin D for a start. But also do your deep breathing really helps set your lymphatic system up as well for the rest of the day, because you are boosting that circulation, okay, to move that lymph fluid around your body, because that's how you move all the nutrients that actually produce your hormones. Okay, so getting that circulation is really important for your body for the rest of the day for hormone production. So whether you are, and it doesn't matter if you are low, like if you're low in D3, which is a hormone, but testosterone for men and women, because we all produce testosterone. Setting up your hormone production first thing in the morning will set up your whole day.
Yep.
Yep. I like that, how you combine everything so you can knock how many birds with one stone.
Minutes. Yeah,
right. 15 minutes.
First thing in the morning. Anyone can do that. Anyone has 15 minutes.
Yep. Yeah, I've incorporated a routine myself where it's just pretty much same to yours, DC. I get as much sunlight as I can. I do the deep breathing exercises, and if I'm not working, if I'm not doing shift work, then it works out. But unfortunately,
it's difficult when you're doing shift. I hate doing shift work. Actually, I did that through my 20s, but it's really plays havoc on your body.
It does. Absolutely. Getting rid of caffeine helps. Hell yeah, it does.
Yeah.
How are you guys going with caffeine? Is it in the diet? Is it not?
No, it's not.
I've never been a coffee drinker,
Yeah, coffee. I mean, it's not just the actual caffeine.
so it hasn't been a big problem. But
Effect. It's not just the caffeine though either. Like, there's other things that come in coffee, especially. I mean, there's many problems that come with when you're drinking coffee. For one, like, coffee is cut with all sorts of garbage. Like, they even just put dirt in there. Anything that's brown, they're gonna sell it as coffee, right? Stuff that you buy off the shelf is just disgusting stuff. And even if you buy beans and grind yourself, that sort of stuff, you get what is it? Coffee and plant material, when it's processed, especially with heat, it produces what is it? I forget the name of it. I've forgotten anyway. I'll come up with that again later. But it's just a problem anyway.
Yeah, huge problem. So you say you're not a coffee drinker, Troy?
No,
never have been. But I was a 2 liter a day Coke man, so I was getting plenty of caffeine back in the day. So it's night and day since I've stopped having it. Absolute night and day.
that's a lot of Coke, man.
A lot of Coke.
Well, I'm jealous of both of you because I'm still on the coffee, but it's a work in progress, and it's it's definitely not as much as I used to drink, which I'd be on 6 to 8 cups of coffee a day.
Yeah,
and now I drink 1 or 2. That's about it.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, it's not good for you. Definitely not.
Acrylamide is what I was talking about. Acrylamide, any processed plant-based sort of foods, okay, also produces acrylamide, and coffee especially produces quite a lot of it. And tea does as well. But acrylamide is toxic to your thyroid, and and is one of the things that can also cause cancer and many other problems. So, but basically, what it does is disrupts your thyroid and your hormone production, which is going to damage your mitochondrial health, which is going to lead to chronic disease and that sort of thing. Yeah.
And I have a strange caffeine story. I was Carnivore for 6 months and clean Carnivore for 18 months before I started having coffee with pure cream. That's when things started going wrong. Well, there's always so long as we're not promoting it, that it's the wonder drug or the exception that you can have on the carnivore diet. If you choose to have it, fine. If you choose to consume a little bit of it or a lot of it, it's totally up to you. But I think you draw the line where you're promoting something as okay to have. I think, this is just an exception. It comes to personal preference. And quite frankly, I still prefer my coffee. Yeah.
Yeah, look, if you, like you said, it's progress, not perfection. It's if you're cutting out, all the shitty food from your diet and still having a coffee, that's better than cutting out coffee and still eating shitty food.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, no one's perfect, right? I mean, we're all human, but and we all have things that we like to sort of cling on to, and coffee is a very addictive drug as well. So it's very difficult for a lot of people to give up. For me, I didn't find it difficult. I was never. I mean, I used to drink a fair bit of coffee when I was younger, because I just found that it helped me to stay awake, through the day, sort of thing. But honestly, I don't think now that everything is sort of. But like I said, like if I have my morning routine done properly, the rest of the day is not a problem. So it's really just about getting my hormones working properly, and I don't need coffee at all. I don't need it to wake up anymore, and I don't need it for anything really. And I feel much better off it actually than I do on it. But to each their own. I'm not here to say, look, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that. I don't care what you do really. You're a grown ass adult. You do what you want. But but I'll show you exactly why I don't do it though. I'll show you why I don't do it. because it sucks and it's going to ruin your health. All right. But if you want to take that risk, that's not my problem. You know?
No, very responsible. The same thing with other things too, like fruits. People talk about, you know, adding fruits back into the diet and say, it's, which is, again, it's what, you know, at the end of the day, it's your funeral. And that's not a
I've got
targeted
no problem
thing.
with that too. Like, I mean, I think it's better if you can grow it and pick it yourself, though, rather than go to a supermarket and pick up a piece of fruit that's probably a year old and, you know, full of pesticides and all sorts of other crap. But you know, especially like if you grow it and pick it yourself, it's a seasonal thing as well. You know, which is what it should be. You know, not a year-round thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Aid hasn't worn sunglasses for 2 years. It's nearing the 3-year mark for me as well. I haven't been wearing sunnies at all. Meet up in Brisbane, 24th of November.
24th of November.
Norman Hotel. I actually won't be here because I'll be in Adelaide. Bloody hell. I'll be in Adelaide for the Carnivore conference, which actually is on the 23rd, but my flight is on the 24th. So I think I fly back and I should be getting back around 6 p.m.ish as well. So well. Are you going to be there, DC?
No, the Brisbane one.
Yeah, the Brisbane one.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
We might be doing something else a little bit, maybe the week earlier. There's the 16th, I think it is. There's going to be a Cerule in Brisbane, but Buck K and Pim, they're going to be here too. So we might be organising something with them as well. Maybe another meetup to do with Buck K. So that'd be good. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
awesome. 4 life hacks in 15 minutes. Go watch it now or after this live stream, guys. It's on DC's channel. And I'm going to take a guess. It's blocking blue light, carnivore diet, grounding.
It's just the morning routine, not so much the blocking blue light. That's part of my 7 life hacks that I use.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have 7 hacks, 7 things that I like to do throughout the day. But 4 life hacks you can do in 15 minutes in the morning that will change, really would make, I think it's very much a life-changing sort of routine. You know, it's just 15 minutes anyone can do, and it really will make a big difference to your health.
Even if your health's not great, because you're not expending any energy. It's not like you have to do a 15-minute workout every morning. You just go and stand in the sun and breathe. So as you say, anyone can do it.
Yeah, that's right. Well, when I first started doing deep breathing work, I was laid up in bed and I could barely move and I could barely even breathe. So, you know, if I can do it from there, like, you know, anyone can do it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. How about you, Troy? Do you, apart from, you know, doing the carnivore diet, are you doing any other things outside of that to sort of, I guess, life hacks or health hacks?
I've got a similar routine to DC with breathing. I've been looking into grounding. I just go out and stand out bare feet because I figure, if it's all a hoax, then what can it hurt? But I don't think it is a hoax. I've heard a lot of good things about it, about charging the electrical system in your body the correct way, reducing inflammation, all these sorts of things. So I think it's a really good habit to get into. And one thing I found as a former major sugar addict, habit forming is really important because the stronger and the more length of time that you can have these new good habits, it makes the likelihood of you slipping back into the old ones even less. So I just try and always be mindful, and I'm always when I eat, I'll have a steak and whatever the case, and I'll feel full. And I'll just remind myself that this is what full feels like, as opposed to what it used to be when I take away in the morning and that was a craving. And so I just remind myself that this is what full feels like. I'm good now. I don't have to think about food for maybe until tomorrow. I ate at 11 o'clock this morning and I haven't eaten since, and I won't eat again until tomorrow, and I feel fine. So just being mindful about what you do, feeling good about what you do. So to filling up on, today I had a beautiful steak, filled up, and it was brilliant. And I just sat back and thought that was really good, and realized that I've just done something really good for my body as well. And just sort of take the moment and be mindful about things that you're doing. Went to the gym tonight, same thing, and just had 5 minutes afterwards, and you feel the muscle aches and think, I've done something really good. So it's almost like you're just constantly keeping inventory and just celebrating those little wins. Because I'm only 10 months removed from the old way, so it's not a great length of time. So being mindful of that, I think, is really important.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about, because a lot of it, there is food addiction. Okay, there's carbohydrate addiction and sugar addiction, and sugar. Like I actually put up a video showing a study in France. So rats actually that were addicted to heroin went straight from heroin to sugar water, like without any problem at all, because the sugar water is actually more addictive. But yeah, the biggest thing is the habits. It's about replacing bad habits with good, healthy habits. If you can make a healthy habit, it sort of helps take your mind off things. You don't think about it so much as well. You don't have those cravings so much. Habits are really good, really important.
Yeah,
very important.
I talked to my clients about another study which was similar to with rats that were offered. They had the choice of cocaine water or sugar water, and the cocaine water they could basically get for free. The sugar water they had to run through a tube and get an electric shock in order to get it. 8 out of the 10 went for the sugar water.
Yeah,
absolutely amazing.
Crazy,
crazy addictive.
Yeah. It's crazy too, because these are in rats, but you can, and I get it, it's a rat study, but you can sort of see similar traits in humans as well. Like how far do people go through the lengths of trying to get their sugar fix? Like people go crazy trying to, trying to.
Well, think about diabetics who have limbs amputated, yet they still cannot give up their addiction. They can't give
absolutely.
up.
Yeah.
So that's extreme. That's far more extreme than a rat getting an electric shock.
Yeah, I had a conversation today with a client, and he said it's all about willpower, and I said willpower has nothing to do with it. I said we are absolutely slaves to our hormones. They are so incredibly powerful. So if your leptin and your ghrelin are disrupted, your brain is in panic mode, saying that you have to eat now, and you're basically powerless to fight. It takes a lot of white knuckling to resist that urge. So we are just slaves to our hormones, and as you both touched on, that's why it's so important to keep them regulated and to keep them operating as they should, because when they're working properly, the body's just a finely tuned machine, and it doesn't need maintenance. It operates so incredibly smoothly, but the slightest bit of dysregulation of your hormones, and you're in all sorts.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and every little thing that you do. Sorry, mate.
I was just saying, it just makes it so much more difficult that, whether it doesn't matter how strong your willpower is, like, you shouldn't have those cravings. You shouldn't have that struggle every day. But the problem is that, if you continue, like, it's not like, that's the whole calorie debate, like, I keep saying that, just move more and eat less sort of bullshit. But, it's not about that at all. It's about nutrients, and it's about, if you I mean, you could run all day long, you could go to the gym all day long, but you're still going to have those cravings. You're still going to crave that sugar, and those seed oils and whatnot. So it's really not about that at all.
No, you could look at. I've seen graphs, and I could show you graphs of, the mid 70s, early 80s, when the low fat revolution started, the move less, eat more. The eat less, move more message came across. Since that time, gym memberships have absolutely exploded. They've gone up about 20-fold. But diabetes and chronic disease have risen at exactly the same rate. So it's obviously not working. More people belong to gyms than ever before, but it's not fixing the problem. The problem's actually getting worse.
That's right. I mean, the fitness industry is just as guilty as the pharma or the food industry when it comes to chronic illness and like obesity and diabetes and everything like that. It is like the foods, they're full of sweeteners, colorings, and seed oils, and of course a little bit of sugar, just under different names. And they keep telling you just keep doing more. And there are tips there are tricks that gyms use as well, like such as false light, like not so much natural light.
Yep.
And they're quite dark as well. So you're producing the wrong hormones, the wrong time of the day, and things like that. So those are things that the fitness industry use to keep you going to the gym. Because I think because everyone thinks, oh, it's my fault for not. I need to work more. I need to work harder. I'm still fat. I can't lose the weight. And the problem is not you so much as it's the food they tell you to eat, for one, and the environment where you're training. The fitness industry is second only to the medical industry in terms of who's to blame for obesity and chronic disease. So it's shocking what they actually do. The fitness industry is a scam. And I'm a strength and conditioning coach. All right, sports science is what I study in college. All right, this is my profession that I'm talking about. I was in the fitness industry a very long time, and it's the fitness industry that is and the education that led to my diagnosis in the first place.
Yeah, and you'd see it all the time. I see it at the gym. I saw it tonight. You see the same people just flogging themselves on the treadmill for an hour, but their body composition just doesn't change. So that they're going home and they're eating packaged food and whatever the case may be. It's a funny thing, just while we're talking about gyms, for the first 6 months since I went carnivore, I didn't exercise at all, not one bit. And then just all of a sudden, I think because my hormones were getting regulated and everything was sort of getting itself back in order, I just felt the urge to exercise. So I started going back to the gym, and I just lift weights because it's important for blokes my age. I'm 52, because we lose muscle mass and bone density and all these things, as you both would know. So I go to the gym and lift weights for that reason. But the amount of people, and it's all I can do to just not go and tap them on the shoulder and say, hey, this is not doing you any good. You're going to be here in 12 months' time looking the same, doing the same thing, and nothing's going to change if you don't fix your diet.
Well, the whole move more, eat less narrative, it leads to people under eating, well, not eating the right food for one, but also overtraining as well. So this leads to composition change. Their composition is not going to change either because they're overtrained. They're not getting enough recovery. And of course, they're eating the wrong food for recovery anyway. All these stupid protein powders and supplements and crap like that.
Pre-workout and all that garbage.
And not to mention too, like they've poisoned the minds of people by telling them that the image of the bodybuilder is healthy. So
it's very subtle messaging that every gym they have the before and after the pictures, and they keep dangling that carrot that as long as you keep coming, like Disa said, if you keep coming, you keep showing up, this could be you. And if you don't get this person did it. So if you can't do it, then it's
your
obviously your fault.
Yep.
And it's
And
That's how
I
the
know-
fitness industry grows. You know, that like the fitness
Yeah.
industry. Think about it now. Like in Australia, you know, they're per capita. There's more gyms, you know, in Australia than most of the world. But you know, Australia has a huge obesity problem.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
How does that work? There's more people going
Yeah.
to the gym than ever before, but there's less healthy people. You know, and I saw this in Japan as well. Like, when I was living in Japan, there was when I first started living in Japan, there was 3 gyms in my local area, and now they've exploded. There's like one on every corner. You know, they explode because everyone wants that perfect body sort of thing, and it's a huge industry. It's not just about the gym itself. You know, think about how many supplements and clothing companies and everything like that sort of ride on the fitness industry. You know, yeah, even Hollywood rides on it. You know, because all these action movies, and you see, yeah, absolute top pots like Dwayne Johnson and all these other tosses that, you know, that say, "Oh, I eat 10,000 calories a day," sort of absolute garbage. They tell everyone, and so I sit in front of a big plate of pasta and I eat that. Absolute lying bastards, you know.
And people think he's natural, like he's not taking anything to enhance his
Yeah.
image.
Yeah.
Like, come on, guys.
They basically live on supplements.
Supplements and whatever else they can get their hands on.
Well, I'm sure they eat a lot of meat. You know, they take care of their health, but they don't want to tell people that, especially they don't want to tell everyone that like Dwayne Johnson's not going to come out and say, "I eat a whole heap of meat." You know.
No.
You get too many angry vegan fans. You know.
And we're just touching on gyms again for a second. They know that you know you'll go and flog yourself and nothing will happen. And so what happens when you join a gym? They sign you up to a 12-month contract so you can't get out. So they're just ensuring their profits. They know it's not going to work.
Yeah, that's right.
It didn't work for me. I've got mine in a monthly thing. I've been such a loyal member of my gym for a long time now that I've just I've pulled strings and I said, no, I'm not going on any contracts. You're keeping me on a monthly.
Yeah.
All right.
And this is obviously not bagging out exercise. Exercise is great, and we all should do it, and we all should probably do a bit more. But it's not the messaging that people are getting, and this is why I started the business that I started, was to just give people the right messaging that you can't outrun your fork. You know, it's great to do exercise, but let's get your diet sorted first.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, that you see all these, you know, especially young trainers that absolutely know nothing, idiots on YouTube that, oh, here's how you get 6-pack abs. You know, do this to get 6-pack abs. Like, kill yourself, do 100 crunches a day, and you'll get 6-pack abs. Absolute BS. If you don't have your food right, you're not going to see your abs. You could have this. You could have absolutely bulletproof abs, but they're still not. You're not going to. No one's going to see them unless you get your food right. You know.
All right, let's sift through some of the comments. Let's catch up a little bit. Hang on, where were we up to? Ghrelin, hunger hormone, leptin satiety.
Correct.
Hormone. 100 names for sugars, 65 names for seed oils. Learn to read and interpret food labels, or just avoid food labels if you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything heavily processed, I just avoid.
I posted on my Facebook page about the Health Star rating system. White bread is 4.5 stars. Like, it's crazy. People just haven't got a chance. They believe all this stuff.
Yeah. The food pyramid and everything, the education, everything is just it's just a complete bloody scam, you know. But actually, there's a good meme going around, like, you got a fish in a clean tank and a fish in a dirty tank, and one's healthy, one's not, right? So do you clean the diet, or did you clean the tank?
You clean the tank, or do you drug the fish? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, drug the fish. That's right. Yeah, but I mean, absolutely everything is poisoned against us. Our education is poisoned against us. Our environment, everything in the so-called supermarket, 99% of that is not food. It's just toxic waste, basically packaged in food as food. But like they seem to think, people seem to think that someone's going to save them. Like it must be healthy. It's food. It's legal to sell. Just because it's legal to sell doesn't mean that it's healthy.
Yeah, something I tell my clients is that if a food has to advertise to you that it's healthy, then it's not healthy. So you see food packaging that's high in protein, low in fat, low in sugar, it's all garbage. A T-bone steak doesn't have to advertise that it's healthy for you.
No, absolutely.
So that's the life hack. If it says it's healthy, it's not.
Yeah, basically.
Yep.
Yeah. And shout out to Aid. He's obviously done all his research. I love you, Aid. You're doing just beautifully.
Hey, he's on it, man. He's
very knowledgeable. Actually, he follows my channel.
Yep, he's let's go.
Actually, Aid's a cattle farmer out west.
Oh, awesome! So he knows what's what.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's very knowledgeable. It's good to see.
Every year there are more donations to government funding for cancer and diabetes, yet there's more disease each year. Yeah, it's an industry.
Yeah.
Well, people who are probably watching would know that, but it's about trying to get the word out there to others, to really open their eyes on this, which is the challenge.
Right. You guys might know that Dr. Ken Berry, who I'm sure you're both aware of, has just commenced the American Diabetes Society to go basically head-to-head with the American Diabetes Association.
I can't believe it has to go that far, though.
Well,
I know, but it's a great thing to be doing.
But I mean, the American Diabetes Association, though, is sponsored by food industry. Like the biggest donors to these corporate or these so-called organizations are big food industries, like Coca-Cola, for example, is one of their biggest donors. Okay, Kellogg's and all these other cereal companies, and where their loyalties lie. They have, they're absolutely disgusting. It beggars belief, honestly. Actually, there are some good things happening though. Like here in Australia, I did an interview last week or a couple of weeks ago with Dr. James Mears. Okay, he was an Australian of the Year in 2020.
Yeah, he's great.
He's working on. He's an eye surgeon, all right, and he basically started in ophthalmology. But of course, the number one cause of blindness is diabetes in adults. Okay, so he got into low carb diets and trying to treat people before they get blind. And he is actually on a committee at the moment now trying to have the dietary guidelines changed in Australia to low carb. But the problem is the findings won't be out or released until 2026. All right. And until then, like we have in Australia, we have was it 700 people a day, every day being diagnosed as diabetic. So this is a real problem. But at least something is being done. But it doesn't really matter. This is what people don't understand either. It's like you can't wait for government to make changes to our health system. You can't wait for our hospitals to change or education to change or anything like that. No one's coming to save you. You have to do it yourself.
I like that.
Yeah. James actually wrote an article in response to a study that came out that red meat causes diabetes. I think it was in the Canberra Times, and it was absolutely brilliant. If you haven't read it, I'd really recommend you do, because it's
that article is why I contacted him actually to
right.
do the interview. So
Nice.
yeah, it's a really good article actually. But he's written several articles about that, and what surprises me though is they do publish it, because Australian media is Australia is one of the most corrupt countries in the world. And that includes the media. It is the corruption hotspot. It is a communist run, just absolute mind-boggling, crazy country, really.
I think maybe he might have had to flash his Australian of the Year credentials to get it done.
That would certainly help. Yeah, being such he has had meetings with the then Australian Prime Minister and all these other people. So all those credentials certainly help. Plus, he also has an organization, a charity, Sight for All, that he started with a few other doctors as well, that works to try and restore the health or eyesight for many people around the world. So that is, obviously helps a lot. But he has had some backlash as well. Just dumb trolls and things like that. But you get that.
And speaking of governments, it's encouraging to see what's happening in America right now. So Robert Kennedy basically dropped out of the race to join Trump, and whether you like Trump or hate Trump, running basically on the platform of Make America Healthy Again, because the chronic disease over there is out of control. Medicare in America is going to be broken 10 years, if not less. And it's been great to see people like Callie and Casey Means
they're great.
And to get up and speak in front of Congress. It's really, really heartening to see, because the Yanks are much, much worse off than us. I mean, we're on our way and we need to do something about it, but the Yanks are at absolute crossing point.
As a total, yes. I wouldn't say per capita, though. They're pretty much on par.
It's fair.
They just have the sheer numbers. But, globally, by 2030, the global health industry, the medical industry, is estimated to be at $43 trillion.
It's incredible.
Jesus.
That's incredible.
So the movie that got me. Sorry, you go.
That's that's just that in itself, you can see why it's such a big industry. We're talking about one of the biggest industries in the world. I mean, the largest industry in the world is the food industry, all right? And so you have to know that being the largest industry in the world, it's very political. It's very politically driven. All right, so they have the largest influence over politicians, right? And all these so-called NGOs and all these other corporations and so on and so on and so on. But the food industry basically just feeds pharma, right? They make us sick. They sell us the poison, so we get the so-called management treatment from pharma.
And they're both customers for life.
Food industry, yeah, that's right. Basically it's pharma that owns the food industry.
Yeah.
So it's very political. So anyone that says that they're just they don't want to get involved with politics. If you want to get involved in health, in food, then you're already involved in politics. You can't avoid it. So
that's right.
Where do you want to go? Where do you want to stand? Who do you want to stand with? Who are trying to get people healthy, or people who just don't care?
And talking about how quickly it's increasing, I saw a movie, a documentary called Fed Up, which was made in 2014. It introduced me to people like Dr. Robert Lustig and these sort of and a really good documentary. And one of the things they said in that film was that by 2050, 50% of US citizens will be diabetic or pre-diabetic. It's happened now, 10 years later, not 30 years later.
We're
That's
there.
how quickly it's
We're
accelerated.
there. Yeah.
Already,
yeah.
It's scary.
Yeah, that's
Scary
right.
thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you think about like being diabetic leads to every other chronic disease, like I was talking to with James Mukey, the fact that a chronically elevated blood glucose is basically the basis for every other chronic disease. At the moment, it stands that diabetes is the number 7 killer, but if you take into account that it contributes to all these other chronic diseases, diabetes itself is actually the number 1 killer.
Correct.
Yeah. So it's just crazy what's going on. I mean, think about this: what every Western country spends more on medical funding than it does on military. And think about the military budget of countries like America, Australia. That is a huge budget. It's a mind-boggling budget. Yet more money. In fact, in America, they spend up to 5 times the American military budget. Yet, the military budget is the big news item, big news type ticket. Like how can they spend so much money on military? But they spend 5 times that on the medical industry.
Yeah.
It's insane.
That's crazy.
Where does it all go? And yet people just get sicker and sicker and sicker. They get more and more disease.
Yeah. But that's what I like that you pointed out. No one's out there looking out for your health, so you've got to take it upon yourself.
That's right.
To do something about it.
Yeah.
And so not to be so dependent on what is being.
That's what it's all about. Like being healthy being healthy is about not being dependent on pharmaceutical, not being dependent on the health system, on the hospital, not being tied to a hospital. I've been tied to a hospital for the last 12 years. It's not something you want. Once you are in the medical system, it is damn hard to get out of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know all about it. Yeah. All right, let's sift through some of the comments. Jonathan, he is down 91.5 kilos on Carnivore.
Way to go,
well done, mate. He's prepping for a bodybuilding.
He's prepping for national meet. He's a bodybuilder in the UK.
Yep.
In England.
He's leaning out. Out, buddy. My UK Carnival conference talk was titled "You Can't Outrun a Sad Diet."
100%.
100%. Yeah, you definitely cannot. Aid can see a cow 30 meters from where he lives. Of course he can, bud. Oh dear. It all started with Ellen G. White and J. Harvey Kellogg. Just add Ansel Keys and you've got the whole package.
Correct.
You're more than Stalin, Mao, Pol Pot, and Hitler.
Yeah.
One can only think, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Harvard School of Public Health is funded. Pretty much. Harvard School of Public Health is funded by Big Everything.
Yeah.
Just report after report after report of Harvard doctors being paid off.
Well, it's funny too when they put out the Harvard study about the carnivore diet straight after, not even a couple of months, I think, there's someone who within Harvard as well who did an opinion piece to rebut that study, like just straight after. It's just
and it must be heartbreaking for someone like Dr. Georgia Eade, who's done incredible work with low carb therapy and mental health. She's absolutely brilliant, and she's out of Harvard, and the name of Harvard is just being tarnished.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. Like, it doesn't matter what university it is; they are all in it for the money. Okay, that's why you get all these retarded courses that the kids do these days, like gender studies. Like, how much study do you need to do to figure out there's 2 genders? Yes, people, just 2. Okay. Don't get all bloody. Don't let your heads explode. But the universities are out to make money, and that's all it is. And when it comes to nutrition, sports science, or anything else, they are sponsored by big corporations. Okay?
Correct.
How else are you going to get funded for a study?
Who do you think these so-called studies? Yeah, all these studies cost money, because it costs
a lot of money
to buy a team of scientists. You can buy scientists just as easy as you can buy a politician. Okay, and they need money to, obviously. So who sponsors that study? Of course, big food. Yeah.
Casey Means testified in front of Congress the other day that I hope I get the numbers right. 92% of non-funded studies found that ultra-processed food was a cause of chronic disease. 82% of, or might be the other way around, 82%, 90% of funded studies said that ultra-processed food has nothing to do.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. I mean, scientists are going to have any bias leaning towards whoever funds them. That's as simple as that. The problem is we've been so indoctrinated to think that anyone in a white coat is beyond reproach, like they're always honest. It's just nuts. They should all wear sponsor labels on their jackets, on their coats.
Yeah, like the jerseys. Yeah, just have the sponsors on. Yeah.
But yeah, so we've got to get back to
treating doctors are the same. Okay, like in the hospitals, like they keep pushing these the standard of care. They feed you all the crap in the world to make sure they're feeding the disease so that they can keep treating you and try and keep you alive as long as they can, because they want more. They get a cut of each one, So, and it's not like they don't get more money for more
customers
treatment.
for life.
Yeah, the doctors themselves get a cut of that treatment, Yeah, the more times they see you, the more money they get.
Oh, 100%.
So there's no incentive for the doctor to cure you.
Imagine this too. I just thought about this. I was speaking to who was it? Someone about this on YouTube on one of the interviews, the live streams. Iron deficiency and anemia, one of the biggest. I guess it's a huge global problem that is recognized by one of your leading health organizations. They say it's a huge problem. Don't eat red meat, okay, which is your most nutrient dense food when it comes to iron sources. Eat these foods that are better for your health. These plant foods, these greens, which you can't absorb, and it's also got nutrient blockers where you can't absorb other nutrients as well. But hang on a second, we can fix the problem. Here's a pill.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's got to be a quantum shift in the way people think about healthcare, because at the moment, and I see it every day, I talk to guys every day, our mindset is we get sick, we go to the doctor, we get a pill, and now we're fine.
Yeah.
So I had high blood pressure. I went to the doctor. He gave me a pill, and it's all good now. I don't have to change my diet. I talked to a bloke the other day who's got diabetes, and it was 6 o'clock in the morning, and he's taking metformin. And I was talking to him, and he's drinking a 1 liter Dare Ice coffee, which has got about 60 grams of sugar. So he's under the impression, and his doctor has either told him this or hasn't not told him, that as long as you're taking medication, everything's fine. And it's criminal. It's absolutely criminal. So in the Western world, the number one killer of people is metabolic disease, heart attack, stroke, etc. Number 2 is cancer. Makes sense. Number 3 is prescription medication taken as directed.
Yeah.
The number 3 killer of people in the Western world.
Yeah.
Imagine too, like a lot of these, like we can use these, I guess, these labeled conditions as, and we can sort of rank and see which one is the killer, which is the highest, statistics in terms of how many people they've killed. But at the end of the day, it all boils down to one root cause.
Correct. DC said it all boils down to the same
inflammation.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and
It's all inflammatory.
what it boils down to. If you want to look at the number one killer of like overall killer of humanity so far, have a look at the numbers the food industry has killed.
Yeah,
these are crimes against humanity. This is
Why have you got high blood pressure? Oh, the doctor says because I have too much salt. Rubbish. It's because you're insulin resistant. Salt's got nothing to do with it.
Question for you, DC. What happened to that lean N7 PT guy?
Lean in 7 PT guy. I'm not sure I understand that one.
All right. I have no idea what this is about, but
sorry, Jonathan, I don't get that one.
I like this one. High LDL is not a statin deficiency.
No, that's wrong.
No, it definitely isn't. Oh god. Aid's got some gold comments in here. You can buy a doctor or a scientist just like you can buy a politician.
I have a degree in lesbian dance theory.
Researchers are paid by sponsors to create the methodology needed to produce the desired outcome in it.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. I mean, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, Jonathan. 100%.
Everyone needs to watch a video on the Low Carb Down Under channel entitled "Ruminating on Protein."
Yeah,
by Professor Peter Ballestedt.
He's really good. I did an interview with Peter Ballestedt as well. He's a brilliant guy as well.
Is he Aussie?
No, he's American. But he's all about trying to rejuvenate grasslands and of course, like he's absolutely brilliant on the knowledge of health and stuff as well. So like regenerative farming and things like that is his specialty. They sort of nicknamed the sod father because he's all about the soil, topsoil and things like that, replenishing topsoil and that. But he's really good. He's a brilliant guy, actually. Anyone, if you don't know who Peter Ballestedt is, you should go and have a look at some of his lectures because they really are very informative. And can also give you a very good argument against the vegetards and vegans and so on. Yeah.
I saw a good documentary a while back called Sacred Cow, which is all about regenerative farming and sort of debunking the theory that cow farts are going to destroy the planet and all this sort of garbage. And and how much the topsoil has. And I'm not a farmer by any stretch, so I don't know the ins and outs, but what they talked about made a lot of sense about the topsoil. It's just been absolutely raped and there's no nutrients left in it. And these regenerative farmers are just doing great work trying to bring it back to the state it was in.
Well, Australia especially has lost a lot of topsoil. And like we lose it at a rate of like feet per year, but to regenerate topsoil we can it takes about 6 years to regenerate like 1 inch of topsoil. So it's such a dry country as well. Like it takes much less water to raise cattle than it does on grasslands than it does to raise monocrops, like crops that are just full of man-made fertilizers and pesticides and everything else. They also take up an extraordinary amount of water, so they're really bad for the environment. And I mean, if you go back far enough, all those deserts around the pyramids in Egypt, that was all forest land cleared for crops to feed the slaves. And now it's just sand. That's what it does. That's what it does to the environment.
And here we are, a couple of thousand years later, we still haven't learned from.
Nothing's changed.
Still doing the same thing. Yeah.
Remnants animals give us our topsoil. They give us our environment. Everything that they do nothing but just like they take dead, basically like mulch. They're the perfect mulching machine. They give us everything that our environment needs to make soil, to make grasslands, to grow trees, to have rainfall. So
it's a perfect system.
It is a perfect system. It is absolutely perfect. But these vegans are so got their heads so far up their own ass that they can't even see the fact that the only argument they keep coming back with is cows. What about every other ruminant animal on the planet? Of course, it's the cows that are the problem, because you have to get rid of the farmer. It's absolutely ridiculous nonsense.
And what about all the animals that are killed to get an acre of wheat cropped?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, monocrops.
They don't care about snakes or mice.
Well, it's not just the small animals.
They don't matter to them.
Yeah, it's not just the small animals. It's not just snakes, mice, and rodents and insects. It's large animals as well, wild ruminants that farmers hire shooters to kill to protect the crops. Plus, what they do, they also poison the land around it. So a lot of these animals will actually die from poisoning because they poison the grasslands around it, which also means that you can't grow more grass around those grasslands. So again, it's environmentally destructive. But these corporations, they don't give a rat's about the environment, and they don't care about the animals around it either. It's thousands of many thousands of animals die for every crop. Many thousands. And it's not just small insects and things that they don't give a crap about. It's large ruminant animals that are like deer and things like that that run wild, rabbits and all sorts of other things.
They're only very selective about the cute animals that they want to they think is worth saving. I have a problem with a couple of things in that regard. Usually they define things worthy to save are those that are sentient beings, or those who've got ability to feel pain. Well, who are we to say that plants don't feel pain like we do?
Well, they do, but I mean, that's not what life's about, though. It's not about it's about appreciating the circle of life. Like we die too, and our bodies go back to the land. So it's. I mean, I appreciate these animals very much. I love them too, and I think they're wonderful to be around. I think it's wonderful to be around animals. Doesn't matter what animals they are, but I also appreciate the fact that it is nature for us to be here. For one, okay, people are as much a part of the planet as the animals are. Not that these idiot vegans who think that we're invaders on the world. Where do you think we live, idiots? But part of that circle of life is that they grow, they live, they die, we eat. I mean, this is the whole process. We can't get these nutrients from the plants that they eat. We can't do it. That's what we need: a processing machine, a cow or other ruminant animal that can do it for us, so that we can absorb that into our lymphatic system. That's what our lymphatic system is designed for. It's designed to absorb fat and muscle meat. That's what it's the whole idea of it. And that's how we get our nutrients. That's it. So just appreciate the fact that the cow is there. Give them a good life while they're here. And regenerative farming is fantastic. I'm not saying that just put them in a pen and like a big corporate farm does, and just feed them on grain for their whole life and make it miserable. Give them a good life. It doesn't take anything to just let them set them wild out in the grass and then just harvest them every now and then when they're old enough, sort of thing. Just appreciate the fact what they do for us. And we use everything on them. We use the bones, we use the bone marrow, we use all the meat, the organs, and everything. It all gets used. I think just appreciate that the beauty in that, and just I mean I know it's not. I know people sort of are ruled by their emotions these days, and they're like, "Oh, the poor cow, the poor cow." You know, how how sad are you going to be when you realize, "Oh no, I've got diabetes or I've got cancer. Why is it me? Why am I dying of cancer? Because I've eaten a plant-based diet my whole life. I should be healthy." Well, you know, that's just not the way it's supposed to be. That's it.
Yeah.
And these same people will go fishing every week.
Yeah.
And pull 6 snapper into their.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's okay for fish to die.
Yeah, it's all right for them to.
Correct.
Jesus. You did loads of live streams with him. DC?
I did loads of live streams with who?
That must have been the gentleman out of the 7PT.
Asking about the 7PT thing.
Oh, what happened to the Lean in 7PT guy?
Yeah.
PT guy.
You did loads of live streams with him.
Oh yeah, I've got you now. What's his name? Sorry, mate. Let me go back.
You've done loads of live streams with him.
No, I only did the one live stream actually with him. No, he's a good guy. Let's see. Let's go back a bit. Oh, here we go. Yeah, Anthony. Yeah, Anthony Faiz. Yeah, Anthony Faiz. Yeah, the Lenient 7.
Oh, Anthony Faiz. Yeah.
Yeah, he uses. Yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah, he's. I mean, on the bigger and better things, he does lives with Anthony Chafee now, mate. So. Yeah, so I don't speak to him much. Yeah.
Vegans are deluded disciples of death.
He's bringing the fire.
Happy to. Vegans espouse. Yeah. Aren't we part of the animal kingdom as well? I mean,
well, that's right.
We're happy to see
the world part
suffer.
of the system.
Yeah.
We're not aliens.
They're supposed to eat, and we're supposed to eat.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly. All sheep and cattle in Australia are grass-fed. Are they now? And some are grain-fed for 3, 4, 5 months. Yeah, until
until the last few months or so, they like to fatten them up on grain. So I think like as long as you, especially, I think if you're safe as long as you stick to more ruminant animals rather than monogastric, like chicken. Monogastric animals, whatever they eat sort of comes out in the flesh, and pigs are fed on absolute garbage in Australia. Like some of it's actually just plastics, soy, grain mostly, and chickens are the same. So like whenever they say like a chicken is free range, for example, they still feed it grain. So it's you have to be careful where you source your eggs and where you source your chicken and pork. And that includes bacon, So for me, I tend to keep things a bit. I mean, I used to eat bacon, and I do like bacon, but I try, unless I can get a good source, then I just avoid it at the moment. I just stick to the ruminants.
I'm not a fan of bacon, to be honest. But if it brings you closer to eating a more species appropriate diet, then by all means. But it's such a huge thing for people to use as a starting point. You mentioned bacon and eggs. You can have it every day. Oh, that one, I want to give this a go. It's a good hook. Yeah. All right, we're near the end here. Pigs and chickens are fed emulsified grain products high in omega-6 phytic acid. I only eat pork once a week. My diet is mostly beef right now.
Yeah, mine too. I'll have pork maybe once a fortnight, just as something different. I'll air fry some pork strips. probably the same for chicken.
Lamb's a good way to go. Lamb's a good alternative for me. I like beef, but lamb is really good. It's really high in omega-3s for a start. Very fatty. So yeah, I like lamb. And unfortunately, you can't get good seafood here in Australia, which is just ridiculous at the moment. I don't understand why we can't get good, decent seafood here at the moment. But yeah, apart from that, yeah, I just stick to lamb and beef. I found a good butcher recently, actually, in Brisbane called Super Butcher, actually. So, and a lot of the meats are all grass fed and finished, and no hormones throughout the life of the animal as well. So, which is good, really quite, really good. So, yeah, these are things that you need to think about. These are things that can change your story too. When you go carnivore, when you first go carnivore, just getting onto like as much meat based as possible is good. But then if you find yourself getting like a weight loss store, for example, you might want to check or maybe cut out the monogastric animals. That will get you past the weight loss store and will help you lean up a bit more as well. It will also help you because you're still getting those seed oils. You're still getting those hormones and things like that. If you can get that out of the source of your food, you're going to find that you will get much better health improvements as well. Brain fog more and things like that. So, yeah.
Sometimes it's the dairy too. I notice when people if they stall in weight loss or they
stall too. Yeah, dairy in Australia is very. I mean, there's a couple of issues with dairy. One, in Australia, you can't get raw dairy, because it's all processed and it's just full of crap. And when people, especially newbies, when they go carnivore, they're still trying to go low fat. And they go low fat dairy. It just messes you up. It's full of sugar and all sorts of other garbage. But again, dairy is also it's really about putting on as much weight as possible, because when you're like, for a cow will put on 50 kilos a day. All right, like these things they grow very, very fast, right? Because they drink the milk. It's about putting on weight. So unless you are doing have a really strenuous job, like physical labor job, or a physical very physical sport or athlete, you might want to get rid of dairy as well, depending on how you react to it as well. So there's a number of issues that come with dairy. Some people are fine with it, some people are not. So it's a bit of an experiment as to how you feel for one. But it depends on what your goals are as well when it comes to weight loss, and it can also spike your A1C, things like that. Your blood glucose. There are quite a few carbohydrates in dairy as well. So, like I said, it's just sugar. Weight on. Yeah. So, that's it. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
There's always ways that you can tweak your diet, fasting and at different times, you can sort of shock your metabolism, so to speak, by, fasting at different times, eating your meals, changing your meal time, that sort of thing. But I think the most essential thing you have to do is just to get a good mixture of fats, because you need those omega-3s just as much as you need, so there's a lot of things that you need to get from those fats. So
definitely.
I eat mostly fatty lamb.
Yeah, eat pastured. Oh, duck eggs. Love duck eggs.
Nice. Good size too.
Yeah. Galactose, glucose, any word. Yeah, pretty much.
True.
Yeah.
All right, fellas, we're at the end of the chat there, and we're an hour and a half in, and these blue light blockers are definitely doing the trick for me.
Yeah.
Yep. So I think we'll call it a night.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Well, all right,
Thanks
guys.
for joining
Well,
us, everyone.
thank you for tuning in. Yep. Thank you for joining in. And thank you, DC. Thank you, Troy.
Pleasure, man.
Thank you for everyone who's commented and involved themselves in this discussion. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, have a good night, good day, wherever you're from, whatever time it is. And we'll see you guys in the next live stream, whenever that will be. Alrighty. See you.
Yeah. Regenerative ruminant revolution. Very good. See you guys.
7 days without beef makes 1 week.
Yeah. It does indeed.